What's up, No Limit Gang, man? We back with another shorty. This lady killed her boyfriend and did not know the police was on the phone the whole time, shorty. He butted out the police officer while she was murdering him, shorty. Do your homework on that. Let's tap in and see how this happened, fam.
You cheating on me? I'm tired of your ass steady cheating on me, steady doing all these crazy ass things. I should kill your motherfucking ass. Shut the fuck up. Blah, 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 blah. You can't breathe. You finna die. Now, normally I tell this type of story about some grizzly bear ass, savage ass men. This is different. This is a story of a relationship.
He said some grizzly bear savage ass man. That's diabolical.
A man and a woman where somebody ended up being killed and it wasn't a man. This is a story about a crazy ass woman who got involved in a domestic dispute with her man. She been beating on him for a long ass time, putting knuckles, fists, elbows, all kind of shit on him.
She was
all kind of stuff, you know, and nobody wanted to believe it because it's hard to believe that a woman is abusing a man. This story going viral around Chicago because she killed this man in cold-blooded in her own apartment. Her kids was in her house, and everybody laughed with the mama and kept it a secret and covered it up. But she was eventually arrested a couple days.
Now that's diabolical, bro. That be happening to a lot of people though. And a lot of people be going through this type of stuff too, be getting abused by their females and stuff. That don't get talked about though. It happens a lot, and it don't get talked about. They don't work on that.
Is it going charged with first-degree murder?
A Chicago woman is facing murder charges after a shooting in Old Town. 33-year-old Brianna Gillums was arrested earlier this week on the city's south side. She is now charged with first-degree murder of a 44-year-old man found shot in the 1300 block of North Hudson Avenue back on March 16th. She was in court today for a detention hearing.
Hit the like button. This story actually happened in Chicago. Gold on it.
Bro, it's always the Chicago hoes too, bro. It's the Chicago hoes, Chicago niggas, bro. They be really wilding out that show. Them niggas really be mad as hell, shorty. And you know when you broke, bro, that's when you really mad as hell. Like, bro, you was slicing a nigga throat because you feel like you got nothing to lose. In reality, you look back, you had a lot to lose, shorty. Yo, you could have got another man. It's all these horny dudes out this joint. But hey.
This video 1,000 likes. This one of the craziest stories I done told on the domestic side because normally it's the man, the big gorilla beating up on the woman. Yeah. This one a little different. This woman was beating on her boyfriend, you know. I guess she had to hate him and shit like that, you know. A lot of this go on in relationships, you know, and I don't want to just put it on a woman because I see a lot of this shit with the men, but I seen it, and this is real, you know. If you're a younger girl and you grew up not having a dad around and seeing a man around and seeing your mom married, and how do you know how to be like a wife or be in a relationship or know how to deal with problems and things like that? You know, a lot of these women grow up in single homes where there be a lot of that abuse in there. And the same thing works for men and vice versa. They have to be aggressive too. So I get it. I'm not just trying to put this on one side. But this lady had a history of beating up on this man and shit like that. You know, according to reports, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. They in the house. They going through some shit. A big ass argument. Normally when people is on some argumentative shit and early in the morning, that ain't nothing but the devil. Most people waking up in the morning thinking about breakfast, yarning, praying, thinking about getting their day together. If you waking up in the morning with the devil in you, that's like some crazy shit. So, you know, they say that they was up 2 o'clock in the morning.
That is diabolical. Waking up to some devil shit is crazy, shorty. Do your homework on that. Like, that is diabolical.
Next thing you know, the police get a phone call from this guy phone. He didn't know. He ended up pocket dialing the police, and they hear him in the background with a dispute going on. And he's saying shit like, "Put that gun down, man. You gonna fuck around and shoot that gun? Somebody gonna fuck around and be shot. Man, put that fucking gun down. Your ass tripping." Now, what he don't know is his phone that pocket dialed the police, or maybe he called the police was fearing for his life. Who knows? But the police say that this phone call.
That wasn't no pocket dial, bro. He actually called the police. Shit, I would have too. Shit, this bitch got a gun. He don't know what she gonna do. And as soon as you whoop her motherfucking ass, it'd be your fault. He beat me. All that, bro. Like you now you the suspect. You ain't the victim no more. You the suspect after you whoop her ass. You be like, what the? That's why it's never a win-win with these females, bro. So just get your life together and go on. If you got a good one, stay with her, man. A lot of niggas wish they had a good female, shorty. Cause nowadays, bro, these females be losing their damn mind. I'ma keep it a buck with you.
Today, 911 operator, but nobody will respond to them. They could just hear this shit going on. Then the phone hangs up. Next thing you know, this phone calls again, and you can hear this lady on there screaming, the man saying, put the fucking gun down, there's kids around here. Next thing you know, you hear, fuck! You feel me? And the lady is telling them, your ass dumb, you
He just scared the living shit out of me.
Breathe, motherfucker, and shit like that, But she don't know that this phone didn't ping the police station. The operator hears everything. They send officers to this lady's house. When the officers get to the house, they see a man in the crib laying down, bleeding, shot, fucked up, blood all around.
I wonder how many times she shot him. Cause on the joint, said, you shot. All that, bro. You die, you can't breathe. Some shit like that. Now that's diabolical for a female to say that. That female a demon, shorty.
He like in a pool of red blood, He can't really talk because he's fucked up, but he's still alive. He get a chance to get to the hospital. He died at that hospital because of his injuries. When they get to the house, she told a story of how men came in the house with a ski mask, tried to rob, or did all this shit. She got kids in the house ranging from ages 6.
Bro. So she tried to say niggas came in the house and tried to, bro, now that's diabolical. You caught, fam. You caught. She probably would have got away if that phone didn't get called. If that phone didn't call the police. She would have got away with it, shorty. And that's sick.
6 to 16, so it's a grown-up 16-year-old in there. He lying for his mama and shit, I get it, that's his mom. They lying and shit. This what happened. This happened like last month, in the middle of the month, March 16th, I believe. She shot and killed her boyfriend, but the police heard it and all this shit, but they still ain't have enough information to just lock her up. They did their homework. They researched this, went back to that call, verified their voices, looked in their background, and seen that this lady had several cases against this man as far as beating on him, stabbing him, all kind of shit like that. Once you stab a motherfucker, that's hate, that's passion. So, she had about 5, 6, 7, 8 cases against this man on domestic violence. Normally that's when the man get it, but this
I ain't gonna lie, 5, 6 cases on domestic violence on that man is crazy, bro. Like, niggas let it go so far, it get this far. Like them females that let the man beat on them. When they get that far, they kill you type shit. Like, them niggas will kill you, bro.
Time, it was on the woman. That shit went so far where she ended up killing this man. She packed all this anger and rage in her body to the point where it got to the point where she killed this man. Police arrested her a couple of days ago, charged her with first-degree murder. I don't think they charged the kids and shit like that. They just kids, they seen this. But these kids witnessed their mom kill this man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just to think about that, you got a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, that type of trauma that's going to be on that kid for a long ass time is crazy. He witnessed the murder when he should be witnessing cartoon.
Witnessed the murder? Yeah, when you should be witnessing cartoon, but let alone it's your mother that did the murder. Because another man cheated or something. It's the mother, bro. Your mother going to kill in front of the kids is crazy. Females don't think for nothing, bro, when it comes to emotion. Like, females really, bro.
And shit like that, watching Recess and Bugs Bunny and shit. Instead, he seen bloodshed, That's very crazy, Normally, we tell these stories of men doing this shit, but I don't think a lot of people know. In Chicago, it's violent as hell with the women. Actually, everywhere. I don't want to just pinpoint one place, but that's where I'm from. That's where I be at. So, we just speak on Chicago, but everywhere around the world, it's very, very aggressive with the women. They got guns too. You fuck around, be out here talking crazy to a woman and get your ass popped. They got them bullets and them purses and shit. They be holding their boyfriend guns and shit. So it get like that out there. You know what I'm talking about? But I wanted to bring to your attention, it's a woman that recently got arrested for murdering her boyfriend in the house in a fit of rage. She killed him in front of her kids. Had her kids laugh at her. They covered it up. She almost got away with this shit. I don't know what the argument was about.
Almost getting away is crazy when they was on the phone. Dirt, like, almost is diabolical.
I'm not sure whatever it was, but that decision on March 16th, I'm pretty sure she regretted right now because she's probably never gonna come home again. You know,
No,
you gotta be very careful making decisions when you're angry. Those are not the best decisions. You know, you gotta make decisions when you done calm down and kind of got your mind right. Because 5 seconds is probably gonna cost her 50 years. You know.
Yep.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the homie Truth. But I wanted to bring it to your attention. It wasn't.
Turning 5 seconds to 50 years is diabolical, shorty. Do your homework on Next Generation. You gonna be out. You ain't never get, bro. What? Damn, bro. Imagine 50 ball, and you're already in your 20s or 30s. A 50 ball is diabolical. That's just life right there.
And the man, it was a woman brutally murdered this dude. I'm talking about brutally murdered this dude. Blah, 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 blah. Then asked his ass, can you breathe? His ass can't breathe.
Yo.
Like, that's some crazy mentally ill sick shit.
That's
you know?
crazy.
A moment of rage and fit of anger like that. You know, thinking that shit cool, you know, but you can be in that anger where you think just being an asshole and being a piece of shit ass individual is cool. And eventually, when you finally get in that trouble and you facing 90 years, that's when you find God and shit. Want to be a Muslim.
Want to be a Muslim. Yeah, want to be in church, want to pray now all of a sudden, want to be a Muslim, want to believe all of a sudden. Where was all this believe and praise, nigga, when you was doing that dumb shit? Where was all the belief and praise before you even thought of stuff like this? Bucko?
She's so crazy. I don't know about this lady, but I just think, you know, the things that she did, especially, you know, the talking to him while he laying on the ground, gurgling, you know, regurgitating and shit. He barely can speak, choking off his own blood. He's sitting there dying, laying there dying on the ground. And, you know, they're going to talk about that at sentencing. When you go to court and you finally get your time and get convicted, when you go to court and the judge give you that time, you know, the judge will be like, you know, we all make mistakes in relationships, and I get it. You know, a fit of anger and not raised the right way, that can make easy for a young person to make a mistake. You know, I want to just give you 20 years on this case for doing this. But when you laugh at a man that's laying down on the ground, when you start doing shit like that, you know, the judge will give you 900 years.
Yep.
You'll never come home. You have an opportunity to come home in 40 years. Think about it. You're 30 years old. You done committed this crime. They done gave you 40 years because it was a crime of passion. They done gave you 40 years. You got to do 32 of these years. You fuck around, come home in your late 60s and shit.
Yeah,
you still got 30, 40 years of your life. You know, but you done fucked around and left and did all that crazy ass shit, you know, doing this.
Yeah, laughing, doing all that crazy stuff after you just and sitting there and your kids is around. That's crazy, bro. So sometimes you just gotta think some people deserve to be where they at. And this one here, lady deserved to be where she at. She killed that man for no reason, shorty. Do your homework on that. She got tired. Shit, just got you some new meat. All this meat out dope. What's wrong with you? All this meat out dope.